Where are the betrayed fans at? When you think of unlikely but surprisingly welcome collaborations throughout the last decade, Drake and Trippie Redd's betrayal might stand out to you. Even though the two artists are pretty stylistically distinct for the most part, they linked up for a rage-inspired instrumental and held their own just fine. In fact, it was a bit of a preview for Drizzy's For All the Dogs years later, and now we have another follow-up to this bond. The duo snapped a pic together alongside 1400J, which led a lot of fans to wonder whether or not they're coming out with some new material together. Of course, we all know the high praise that Trippie Redd has for Drake. He proclaimed Back to Back to be the greatest diss track of all time during an appearance on Complex's Goat Talk series alongside Machine Gun Kelly. This emerged right around the time that the Toronto superstar and Kendrick Lamar were firing disses back and forth at each other, so maybe the conversation deserves a revisit. If you're curious, MGK picked his own Eminem diss track Rap Devil as the GOAT diss song. Elsewhere, Trippie Redd has spoken on how Drake was an artistic inspiration for him. "My brother passed away when I was young, so that kind of gave me that drive to start wanting to make music," he told the New York Times last year. "And I would sit at my grandma's house and just rap on the stairs and be there for like 2-3 hours, just freestyling. We would have little things at school where we would have to write, so I would show my pen skills. I would make my school projects cool. Like, oh, I'm gonna write a letter to Drake. I literally did that too. I wrote a rap to Drake. I was in like 7th grade. Meanwhile, speaking of inspiration, Drake recently gave Lil Wayne his flowers for being his day one mentor. "We were so lucky to have the most supportive boss in the game, always gassed us up," he wrote over a repost of an old Young Money clip. As you can tell, this inspiration between artists is always a two-way street, and it always comes from something greater. One day, the next big rap artist will be talking about how much Trippie Redd inspired him to make it big.